Welcome back to the J&A Homebuyers channel. We help people get deals done in real estate. On this channel, we talk all things real estate. Today, specifically, we're talking about foreclosure and how to make a profit in a foreclosure. So if you are an investor looking to help people who are facing foreclosure, or if you are facing foreclosure yourself, stay tuned as we cover a number of things. Like, what is pre-foreclosure? We need to align on what is, in fact, the pre-foreclosure process and how it relates in Texas. Do you make any money if your house is foreclosed? You might be surprised by the answer here, but there's a lot of ifs. Make sure you stay tuned to understand more. Can you sell a house that is facing foreclosure? And then what if your house actually needs quite a bit of work or quite a bit of repairs? Does it change anything in terms of who can buy, timing, other things to be aware of in this process? Stay tuned as we dive into details. Like I said, we're J&A home buyers. We're actually cash home buyers in the greater Houston area. We're based in Katy, Texas, but we buy all around the whole greater Houston, Texas area. Now, before we get into how to make a profit, it's important that we align on some timing things here, because foreclosure and timing are very closely coupled together, and timing is actually oftentimes a bigger challenge to making profit for you than the actual foreclosure process itself. So let's look at something, make sure we understand what is pre-foreclosure. In Texas, you'll receive basically a notice of, hey, the payments are not being made on the mortgage. And that's what kind of kicks off that process for foreclosure in Texas. You can sell your house all the way up to the date of the auction that sale is made in Texas. So in Texas, they don't just let the bank repossess your property and the big bank becomes this wealthy, landlord or whatever. That's not how it works in Texas. Texas has it made so that all properties get auctioned. And in that auction, it needs to cover the debt or the lien and the fees on the property. If that debt is not covered, then it goes back to the bank. But somebody else may buy that property beforehand in Texas once it is foreclosed. So all the way up to the time of the actual auction is called pre-foreclosure. So roughly, it could be anywhere from 40 days, average is 162 days in Texas, I think, right now. So it ranges a lot, but it can be quick compared to other states. That's pre-foreclosure. Do you make any money if your house is foreclosed upon? So in other words, you actually go to the auction is now sold, the house is sold. Do you make the money, or does the bank make the money? Who makes that money? So this is why Texas actually makes it go to an auction. It's because they want the owner of the property to make any money if there is any equity in that property to be had. Now, your credit will be completely obliterated, 7 years, like it's shot, right? But there is a chance that you'll make money. Don't bank on it, because on average, only 20 to 30% of houses that go to auction actually get bought. Think about it as a buyer. You're going to an auction and you're bidding on a house, sight unseen, not knowing if there's a tree growing up in the middle of it, or if it has a roof or anything on it. You know nothing about this property. The offers that are often thrown out in auction are very, very low, and therefore it doesn't often happen that someone actually buys a house in that auction period. So don't bank on making a profit in the auction. It's a very slim chance to make any kind of money from there, but there is a chance that you can make money from there. That leads us to the third question here, which is, can I sell a house that is in foreclosure? You can sell the house all the way up to the auction date. Now, you need time to sell a house. It's not like when I have a phone or a smartphone or a piece of personal property, maybe an appliance or something, and I sell it, I put it up on the Facebook Marketplace, I get offers, and I sell it within hours, right? It could be fast. Houses are not the same thing. You have to have a purchase go through title. The title needs to be checked. They're going to look for all sorts of things like liens on the property. Maybe have a survey actually physically measured of the property to make sure that nobody else built any properties over the borders of your property, etc. So these things take time. typically we say, hey, if you have 7 days left or 8 days before your auction date, we can purchase your property. That being said, if they find a problem with the title or with the survey, we have seen delays come up, and this is where if you have time, you can fix those. Those are very easy to fix. It's just a matter of a little more paperwork for the buyer, not for you even. It's very easy for you to handle. The problem is we need the time to be able to fix those things, and they do come up. So again, the more time that you can give a real estate professional to help you in a time of need, it's going to help you get through that process very seamlessly and very simply, okay? Now, you might be asking yourself, hey, my house needs a lot of repairs, right? And you might think that you're off on your own there. Believe me, a lot of people are actually facing foreclosure just like you right now. Hundreds of people every single week are getting added to that list in the Houston, Katy, Texas area. And we get calls from many of those people, talking to them a lot of the times. We often see that houses that are facing foreclosure may need a little bit more work than others. And this is just, it may not be you, but in most cases we see that, hey, you had to actually prioritize basic living expenses and other things first before you took care of fixing a property that you weren't even sure you were going to be able to keep down the road, right? So it's totally understood. Houses have problems. That's just how houses are. Houses will eventually have a leaky roof. They're going to eventually have a plumbing leak. They're going to eventually have other issues with them. And that is normal business if you work in the real estate professional world. Now, if you're going to sell to an end buyer on the MLS or something like that, yeah, they're going to ask you to fix everything up and the seller take care of everything, blah, 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 blah. But that's not how real estate investors work. If you're working with a real estate investor like our company here, J&A Homebuyers, we will buy the house as is. And a lot of our sellers are actually often surprised at what we mean by buy as is. We literally mean like, hey, if you want to leave things there that you don't need anymore, we'll haul it off, we'll clean it out, literally just walk out of the property. So it's literally as simple as signing the contract, working on a few things with title in terms of how you're going to get paid, and that's it. It's super, super simple process. It's not like the MLS where you have to do a lot of prep work, photos, repairs, blah, blah, blah. It's a very simple sell as is process. Maybe new for people, you haven't done it before. But selling to an investor can be a huge way to make profit in your pocket and not leave money on the table. Because if it goes to foreclosure, there's a high chance it will not happen. And if it goes to the bank, you'll make $0 on that process. The bank doesn't want it to foreclose either. So by doing this, not only would you probably get money in your pocket, but you will certainly save your credit score and future credit ability to be able to take out other loans, get a car, all those kinds of things down the road too. So we get it. You're in a life situation right now maybe that it's not the funnest. It's hard. We all have those from time to time. And we've helped many people like you walk away, escaping the foreclosure process, and actually walk away with thousands of dollars in their pockets. So give us a call, reach out to us on our website. Love to connect with you. If you're an investor in our area, we work with fellow investors all the time. Sometimes you may have a deal that you want to sell to us or whatever. Give us a call as well. Love to connect with you. Keep in touch.